Hey friends, I hope you're doing great. Hey, we had a client a couple years ago, I'll call her Mary, who decided to sell her rental property because of a tenant who moved out of her house, leaving a small unpaid balance and some repairs that needed to get addressed. She was really mad. She was furious about the whole situation, and it was just simply too much for her. She really decided to hold up the white flag of surrender and give up. I'll share a little bit more about her later, but this got me thinking about many others, and maybe even some of you who sometimes have to go through these small battles in the epic war and journey of owning rental property. So for the next couple minutes, I'd like for you to think of owning your rental property like being the general in a war. And the reward or the prize or the final result of winning the war, well, that's cash flow, appreciation over time, and a greater net positive return than you could have gotten somewhere else. You see, a smart general understands there are risks at going to war. They know they may not win every battle, even though they prepare to do so. You may have setbacks, a bad tenant, an expensive repair, unfair legislation, and laws, different things that come up. But great generals are prepared, and they are in it to win the war, not to simply give up when the going gets tough. You see, it's very difficult and nearly impossible to win every battle in a long 5 to 10 year war. So I love the story of General George Washington and his triumph against the British despite the huge list of defeats along the way. He started with 20,000 men defending New York City, was beaten at Long Island, Brooklyn, White Plains, Fort Lincoln, Fort Lee, and then was chased by the British all the way down to New Jersey to the Delaware River border. He crossed that river, putting it between his much shrunken and smaller army and the British. The British, thinking victory was, for sure and certain, divided their forces and settled into territory-holding winter camps. It was then that Washington crossed back over the Delaware River through the winter snow and ice with 1,500 men and a few cannons and destroyed the Hessian garrison at Trenton. The British reassembled its scattered units and moved against him. But Washington recrossed the Delaware, played a little hide and seek with Cornwallis, and hit him again at Princeton. Both sides then retreated to winter quarters until the following spring. Now that flow of events and different things that happened assured the Americans would take the field the following year in 1777. And as we know, the eventual outcome was Washington and the Americans winning the Revolutionary War. Washington, however, lost far more battles than he ever won, but he never gave up. He wasn't in it for the battles. He was in it to win the war. So, with Mary, at the end of the day, she still did well in her investment, but she refused to see the tens of thousands of dollars of gain and chose only to see the $2,000 to $3,000 of turn cost, which most of it was recoverable anyway. The sad thing about it for me is, had she seen the situation as simply a small battle in the journey and held on to the property for just another 2 years, her gain could have been added. It could have been an added gain of $150,000 or more, as we've seen appreciation go crazy over the last couple of years. Now, some generals in the rental business get tired, get worn out, and that's completely understandable. And that's where we come in. We let our owners take a step back, let us be the generals in the front lines, while they can sit back and enjoy the benefits of owning rental property without having to be the landlord. And as long as they follow our 10-4 financial success formula, you can ask us about that if you want, they won't have stress in the whole process. So my question for you is, what kind of general are you, or have you hired that out completely? Let me know what you think about this, and if you like these videos, of course, click like, subscribe, and you can get them fresh in your email by subscribing using the link in the video or below in the description. Thanks for watching, friends.